we have to be prepared. The other county departments, we support 40 county departments, and the County of Los Angeles has about 115,000 full-time employees. So it's a fairly large organization and really critical. Some of our, we have all the law enforcement agencies, the first responders, as well as courts, our sheriff's department, jail facilities, health department, hospitals. So keeping critical communications up is really, really important.
I'm Dave Lubach, the executive editor for the Facility Market, and today we're speaking with Jim Allen, the division manager, IT Workplace Communications for the County of Los Angeles' Internal Service Department. Today we're talking with Jim about the January wildfires that swept through his city and county and the role that he helped play in getting the county through the ordeal. So Jim, thanks for joining us today. First off, just want to ask you how you and your family were affected by the fires and how you guys are doing in the aftermath.
Oh, thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate it. We're doing well. We're up in Santa Clarita, so it's northern part of LA County, and we did have two of the fires adjacent to us, but within several miles. So we were safe, but we were watching and visually able to see on the mountains to the south of us the fires, and we're very, very concerned about all of our neighbors throughout the county.
Mm-hmm. Is that something on a personal level that you just kind of get used to, that's something you have to deal with living in that area, or is it still sometimes a little bit intimidating or worrisome when you see
Very
those?
worrisome, but you do get used to it a little bit. And it's interesting. I'm from Chicago. My family in Chicago, always asks, and they do get concerned. They're like, this seems stressful. That anytime there's winds, there's fires. You do get used to it a bit, but it always is a challenge, and the level of anxiety does raise quite a bit. But it does kind of train you also to be cognizant of how your ability to to vacate when you need to and that sort of thing. So you do really think about it, and you also very much think about the community and how it's impacting everybody. So it's not, I wouldn't say you ever get totally used to it, but you do understand it kind of has a season, and you're looking out for the indicators that you see.
So when you talk a little bit about your role in the aspect of when the wildfires come up. I don't know if you get a warning or if how you prepare and things like that. Talk to me a little bit about what your role is in it, maybe from maybe before they start, and then once during it, and then in the end, the recovery stage.
No, great question, Dave. I appreciate that. One thing I do want to say is I work for the County of Los Angeles, and I'm really proud of our proactive stance. Very proud about what we've been able to kind of build as far as being proactive in these situations, as well as the leadership, the elected and appointed leadership of the county, really taking a serious look at preparations. We were preparing for these probably a week, maybe a week and a half ahead of time when the Weather Service started to notify us of the I think they call them PDS, particularly dangerous situations. It's a identification, the highest identification of winds, and us having experienced these on a regular basis, that we started to prepare. So what we did is they activated our countywide emergency operations center at a low level for preparations, but started to bring in the department heads for each department that does support. So Department of Public Works, my department, Internal Services Department, fire department, sheriff, all those, and start talking about how are we prepared, situating assets remotely. And one of the things that ISD does, one of the main things that we do in relation to recovery and response, is we manage the radio towers. So we have 28 radio towers throughout the county, typically on mountaintops and other areas. And so we prepare for those. So one of the things we do is we make sure the generators are fully fueled, make sure the generators are maintained and functional. We do have remote monitoring capabilities on those, so we're able to see where our fuel levels are, and if we have power or not on any given point in time, if we've defaulted over to generator or not. So those are the things that I found that we did. But even with all that preparation of an incident of this size, very, very difficult to fully prepare for. Actually impossible if you listen to the the fire chiefs for both LA City and LA County. Both of them were very honest about it. To have 4 or 5 fires going on at the same time of this magnitude in this region, nearly impossible to prepare for, I would say. And I think they said that. That's one of the reasons I'm so proud of being a public servant, and what I see from the inside about our preparations to support. And my role, particularly in workplace communications, is to make sure our communication systems are up and running, and we're capable of moving over to a DR stance and providing communication services remotely. And we can do that, either through cellular, LTE. We also can use our microwave towers to provide a remote signal to our telecommunications platforms.
I mean, a lot of the preparation, I'm sure that your program, your department and other departments in Los Angeles do have, or part of, disaster recovery plans, preparations, things like that. How often do you play a role in that or work on that, Jim? And I would imagine experiences from fires like this and wildfire situations kind of work into maybe how you update that and change things as you go along?
Awesome. Another good question, Dave. I appreciate that. So we do have a COOP plan for each one of our divisions, and then a centralized COOP, continuity of operations plan, for the overall department. Because ISD is a critical backbone service provider for the County of Los Angeles, we have to be prepared. The other county departments, we support 40 county departments, and the County of Los Angeles has about 115,000 full-time employees. So it's a fairly large organization and really critical. Some of our, we have all the law enforcement agencies, the first responders, as well as, courts, some of our sheriff's department, jail facilities, health department, hospitals. So keeping critical communications up is really, really important to us. So we do spend time in our continuity operations planning, as well as our testing. Typically, we do 2 COOP drills a year. We'll pick a remote facility. Sometimes we notify everybody of the remote facility. Sometimes it's a very planned COOP drill, and other times we don't. Other times it's just an emergency, and at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're going to know it's going to be a drill, but you're not going to know where, you're not going to know how, you're not going to know the situation that's going to be proposed in that desktop exercise. And typically those drills include, we bring out a what we call our perp trailer. It's basically our remote microwave, find line of sight to one of our desktop or our mountaintop microwave sites, establish a connection, so we have the backhaul to our data centers, and we can start operating from that location wherever it is. The last one we did was at our the Arboretum up in Arcadia, so it was very close to where Altadena is, within a couple miles. And we set up there, and then established communications, and we put in several of our critical operations. So our network operations center goes down there, our customer support center, our customer assistance center goes down there. So we'll put all of our agents for our help desk down there for all IT support, and they do vastly more than just IT support. They support the public through a 211 system, and an 811 system for information about the public. The other thing we do is establish our radio connections, our local radio connections with our CWER system, our countywide radio system that supports all of our departments.